Wow, what a day. Today is, I can't remember what exactly the date is, but it's been the Race for Life on Southampton Common. Hundreds and hundreds and thousands of women and children walking in memory and dedicating their walk, their jog and their run to their grandmother, grandfather, uncle, aunt, cousins, nieces, nephews, friends. It's incredibly inspirational. I was surrounded by a handful of my nearest and dearest friends. My cousins, Jackie and Becca, Adelaide. My dear cousin Paul, following around with Andrew, Richard and Jacob. Friends from work. My sister-in-law and niece-in-law. Mum and Prim. Friends from donkeys years ago. Heather, Teresa and Sharon. All there to give money to cancer. My Claire and her daughter Hannah, who kind of charged away a bit soon afterwards. I only got to see them at the beginning and then, well, never mind. I got to cross the line and complete my day with some of the most inspirational people I know as friends. I was hugged along the way several times by people who read what was written on my back about my prognosis. I wasn't being depressing about it. It was simply they asked me why and who I was doing it for, and I was doing it for all women who are affected by cancer and myself. But these ladies would come up and give me a hug and say, "You're going to beat this, girl. You're going to beat this. I know you're going to beat this." One of the stewards at the end, when everybody was packing up and all the final hugs had been hugged and everyone was dispersing, he came up to me and said, "Everybody gets the hugs, and I never get a hug." So I duly gave him a hug. And we got chatting and talking, and I told him about these podcasts and the fact that if it wasn't for the cancer, I wouldn't have met some of the most incredible patients, staff nurses, students, carers. I wouldn't have spoken to numerous students and paramedics if it wasn't for the cancer. But this cancer, this thing that's trying to kill me, has probably given me more life than I would have had had it not arrived. And he just said, "Wow." He read what was written on my back, and he said, "I tell you what, I'm going to be here at the finishing line next year, and I expect to see you coming across the line, and I'll get my hug again on July the 5th next year, 2015. He has no idea how much I hope that's true. I saw my oncologist on Wednesday. Not this week, sorry. Retrack. Not 2 weeks ago when I saw Dr. Simmons, and I actually got to see Dr. Simmons this time. He said to me, because my bloods have been so good and my organs don't show any signs of deterioration, I can stop coming week after week after week. And that next week, which was this Wednesday just gone, I can pick up 3 weeks of medication, as opposed to coming in Wednesday after Wednesday after Wednesday. Which is good news. My bloods are coming back fine. And no sign of any organ failure. No swelling, no fevers, no nothing. this week just gone, he said again, everything seems to be working fine. You know, my appetite's pretty rubbish, but apart from that, there's nothing wrong. I said, yeah, I know, I'm the liveliest looking dying person you could ever meet. I smiled and he looked at me and said, Gina. I said, sorry, okay, I'm a cancer patient. He stopped and rested his hand on my arm and said, you're Gina. That's who you are. He smiled. Dr. Simmons and I have known each other a long time. I don't know him personally, neither does he know me personally, but one of the skills Dr. Simmons has, which needs to be developed in all SHOs, all junior doctors, right from the very beginning, from year 0, is that importance of silence and the knowledge that you can, and that development of a rapport with your patient. I hesitate because it's a relationship built on mutual respect and trust, and knowledge that the other person really does understand where you're coming from, and empathy and not a sympathy for your patient, an understanding and not an assumption of knowledge of what the patient is going through. Dr. Simmons said, basically, I'm neither dying nor a cancer patient. I'm Gina. And that's just good enough. Because it's good enough for those 22 to 23 people that crossed the line with me today, that walked 5 kilometers with me, went through all the bubbles and everything at the end, and raced to the finishing line, and had the most fantastic finishing photograph. To them, I'm Gina. They call me inspirational, they call me strong, they call me all these other words, but basically, I'm Gina. Every patient has an identity. Just like every staff member, just like every member of your team, and just like yourself. Yourself as a nurse, as a carer, as a doctor, just as much as a patient. You have an identity, an individuality, a personality of your own. And that is enough. Don't label yourself. Just be yourself. And that way you can be the professional, the best professional you can be. And a patient can relax and respect the professional you are. Take care. Back soon.